Hey everybody, what is up, Facebook world?
Hi, hi guys. No, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make sure we're live, but I think we are. It always takes a second. So I'm just checking now. We should be live.
Yeah, we're good. We're live.
Okay.
All right. So we are super excited because, here at Kids Throw 2, we're a big believer in the potential of our kids. Like, we know that they can do things far better than we can. And so we wanted to bring on Halle here to interview Daymon Dennis. They actually know each other. It's going to be an awesome interview. Oh, what you got there, Daymon?
That's the bags of my grandkids.
Fun Paw. Is that what they call you?
Yes.
Fun Paw.
I'd say I'm pretty proud of them.
That is amazing.
That is so awesome. Fun Paw. You are probably such a fun paw.
That seems totally fitting.
Right. Absolutely.
Oh, game changers.
I love it. It's amazing. So we, like I said, are a big believer in what our kids can do. So Whitney and I are going to pop off, and Halle's going to run this thing, and she's going to bring you great information straight from Daymon Dennis, which is obviously an awesome, legendary ACL Pro. So Halle, I will pass the baton to you to take over, and we look forward to watching.
Yeah, you're awesome. And we'll see you back at the end. Bye, guys.
All right, so I couldn't be more excited to have one of my good friends, Daymon Dennis, on the show today. And I ain't seen him in probably a couple of weeks, so how have you been, Daymon?
I've been good, Halle. Thank you for having me on the show tonight. I really appreciate it. And hey, kids can throw too, no doubt about it.
All right, so we're going to start it off by just asking you some questions so the audience can get to know you better. So why did you start playing cornhole in the first place?
Well, it come by kind of I wouldn't say an accident, but it was kind of a thing that I didn't have planned, but they had a benefit for a guy where I worked at. And to help the benefit out, I played in a tournament and kind of been in the game ever since.
All right, so I think you've told me this before, but you used to play horseshoes, right?
Yeah, I never was that good at them, though. I never was a great horseshoe player. I did play quite a bit, but it ain't like I was any good at it.
All right, did you like the cornhole or do you like horseshoes better?
I tend to put more interest in cornhole, but I liked horseshoes. Of course, being from a large family, 11 kids, we had to have something to do besides fight all the time.
But so when you go to tournaments, the boards, they always play different. Sometimes they play sticks, sometimes they play sticky, sometimes they play slick, and sometimes they're perfect. So if you had to pick, would you rather have slick or sticky boards?
They're only perfect if they're slick.
All right. So Ricky plays ACL, right?
Yes.
And I know you play ACL. So why do you choose the ACL over the ACO?
Well, I think the ACO is doing a good job, and they've got a lot of good players. I don't make any difference I don't get wrapped up in debating what league is better than another league. I just, me and Philip Hayden at the time was playing probably 4 years ago, and we was actually playing in both leagues, and it was just too much. So we had to choose one, and the one we chose was the ACL. I think if you ask either one of us if we ever regretted that decision, I would say that his answer would be the same as mine. We don't regret it, but as you mentioned, Ricky, my older brother, I think, he plays in the ACO and he likes it. So it's just a matter of choice, I think, more than anything. But I'm always going to promote pretty much the ACL because that's the league I'm in.
All right, so we know you won your first pro singles national, and how'd you feel? Like, how was your emotions after you won that?
Uh, it's it's kind of hard to believe that, uh, you know, I look at all the cornhole players in the pro division, and as I look at all of them, they all seem like they're capable of winning a national. But since there's only 4 of them a year, a person's very fortunate if they can even get in the final 4 of one of them a year. So to win one was kind of like over the top as far as cornhole goes. It's kind of like over the top what I would was expecting last year. Glad to get it, but it was a little over the top.
um, how like what's your favorite win or memory that you have from playing the game of cornhole?
I probably couldn't pick out one single favorite. I've got several that pops in my mind, but I will tell you one that I really remember, and it's because of me and Philip Hayden have played together so much as partners, and the first time that we made it to the final game of the Senior World Championship in the ACL, the first time that both of us made it meeting each other in the singles, was probably one of them that I will probably not be able to forget. And then winning the doubles national champion, the pro part with Philip Hayden was, you know, it was a experience, a good experience.
Yeah, so everybody knows you're world famous and one shot. How in the world did you manage to do that?
A whole lot of luck involved. Just the right time, uh, right place, and you know, sometimes we hit shots that work out. You yourself know you've been playing cornhole for some time now, and I've watched you play, and I see how good you are. But you know when you get to where your game is going good and you're feeling really good about the game, I think you would understand me saying that it was just almost like you had so much confidence that you could do it. And not that it could not happen, but the confidence level was there that I thought I could do that shot. And it
Yeah,
turned
and
out that it did.
yeah, where I've been playing for a little over a year now. I've got to where if I'm having a good game, my confidence builds up, and I know, or I try really hard to make the shots or harder shots that I need to make.
Yes. Like I said, I've got nothing good to say, but good things to say about you and Maddie. I've watched both of you young. The future really looks bright for you kids, and not only you, but the honor kids too. I'd say kids throw too is a true statement, and I'm going to stick with that.
So, does any of your grandkids get into the game or are they interested in it?
They play a little bit when I go out into the garage and they're out there with me, but they have not showed a really high interest in it. I think that they have the talent if they wanted to choose to play, but at this time, as far as to really interested in it, they're not. They're not that interested. But if they ever get that way, I'm going to try to coach them all the way through.
um. So when you and Matt Guy had a game where you couldn't seem to end it, and he kept throwing them off the back of the board, how did you feel after you finally won it?
Oh, Halle, I just can't explain how that game went. You know, me and Matt, we played each other so many times, and it brought back to my remembrance of a world championship in Alabama, where I was similar to what situation that he had me in. I had him in a similar situation. And honestly, I did about the same thing he did. I give him the game. And that's all I can say. As far as me winning that game that you're talking about, I didn't win. I didn't. He, not trying to discredit Matt Guy because he's the best, and he knows I believe that he's the best player ever, and that's the truth. He gave me that game, not by choice, but he gave it to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So before you play every game, is there like a superstitious thing that you do or something that you do before every game?
No, I don't. I don't get wrapped up in superstition. I don't get wrapped up in uh, uh, rabbit tails or anything, horseshoes or anything like that. Uh, in fact, I try my very best to keep all of that out of my mind and just try to walk in there with, put the first bag in, and that sets the pace. If I miss the first bag or two, then it's probably going to be a long day. But if I can hit the first 2 or 3 bags, kind of sets the pace for me.
Yeah. So I know that feeling because when I walk up to the boards and I hit, so say I throw the first 3 out of 4 in, I know it's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
So, with you being an ACL Pro, besides yourself, who is your favorite ACL Pro?
Daymon Weber, because he has so many things that he could use for an excuse not to play the game. But he is a great player. Now, my second and third favorite players, I'm looking at one of them, and the other one's Matty McBride.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Yeah.
So how many siblings do you have?
How many what?
Siblings.
Oh, I've got 2 girls. Oh, brothers and sisters. I'm sorry. I've got 8 brothers and 2 sisters. One of them has passed away. One of the boys.
Do any of them besides you and Ricky get into the game of cornhole?
My twin brother played just a very little bit, but no, he's not really into it. I got some nephews that play and some great nephews that play. But that's really the only ones. Maybe another brother, Rodney's pitched a little bit, but that's about the size of it right there. Ricky, as far as being really competitive, he is a really good and competitive player, and me and him's just about it as far as the siblings.
Yeah, what is it like growing up and having a twin brother?
Oh, he was better at everything I was, so it wasn't a good life. And even better looking. I mean, it was just like I was striking out every time I turned around. And no, I'm just kidding, of course, but he was better looking. I'm just kidding. It was a good life. We done a lot of things together, and maybe that's why I'm so competitive, because I always was trying to beat him, and it was very hard to do. He was just, he could beat me at everything, just about everything.
What does your family think about you being a pro and being on TV?
They're supportive. There's a lot of sacrifices that you make, and you probably experienced some of it. I'm sure your dad and your mom does. There's a lot of sacrifices that's made some things you miss out on that you'd like to be home for,
Yeah.
but they're supportive. And without their support, I couldn't keep playing the game.
When you and Ricky play each other, who wins most of the time?
Oh, I ain't gonna answer that. I'll just leave that question mark.
Do you have any like TV shows or movies that you really like to watch?
Little House on the Prairie. It's a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Griffith.
When or if you play in blind draws, what kind of players do you like to draw the best? Do you like intermediate players, or do you like more advanced players, or?
What I love to see is somehow, and it doesn't happen often. I love to see the blind draw go to where the good players get the intermediate players, and it all is pretty even. But I don't really have a problem with any player that I get.
Yeah.
How about you? Can I ask you that question?
So I really like drawing people who I can help out a lot and help them get better. So, and even if I do draw an advanced player, that's good for me because then we got a better shot at winning the tournament. But with intermediate players, it's so much more fun because you can help them and help them learn the game better and get better overall. So, but anyways, so everybody has struggles in the game. What is your biggest struggle that you have or had in the game?
My biggest struggle is probably what everybody else's is.
Mhm.
When you get in tight situations, I'm sure everybody's watched cartoons at one time in their life or another, and when you get in tight situations, you got kind of a doubt on this shoulder, and you got hope you can on this shoulder, and you try to push that doubt as far away as you can, and you just the way I try to handle it is center my thoughts on what I'm going to do, go through it in my mind, and then try to do it.
Mhm.
But it is a struggle at times.
Yeah. So I know everybody has their embarrassing moments, and of course we got to know yours. So what's your most embarrassing moment?
Well, it's a good thing you got all night because I can tell you them all night probably. Are you talking about in the game of cornhole or just in general?
In cornhole.
Okay. I don't know. Probably the embarrassing moment would be going back to that match in Alabama against Matt Guy. I mean, I just felt like, that the game was mine, and my wife and Philip was sitting there watching, and everything looked good. It was going right along, and whoever won that game was going into the semifinals of the winners bracket in that world championship. And I threw that bag and missed everything, and that was pretty embarrassing.
So when you're not playing cornhole or at a big cornhole tournament, where do you like to go on vacation to?
Oh, I've not really got any, being from the country, I like to kind of hang around the country settings of things. And, my wife, she likes to ride horses and stuff like that. And, if the kids and everybody's having a good time, then that's what vacation to me is probably more about besides just being me.
All right. So do you watch any other sports besides cornhole, like baseball, basketball?
I used to. I used to watch the softball or the baseball and the basketball and all this stuff. But no, I don't anymore. I don't get into them.
Yeah, that's about how we are now. Now that we can watch cornhole on TV, we don't, unless it's like the World Series or something. It's not very popular on our TV.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Do you have any like words of advice for all the kids coming up in the game of cornhole?
Yes, I do. when you run into old men, try to give them every break you can. Now, anyone else, just beat the tar out of them and move on. But, you know, me and you, like if we play each other, my advice to you is take it easy on me. Okay. Now, if I had any advice, real advice to give kids, it would be, at what level do you want to play this game at? If it's a level, and you decide what level you want to play, and then you have to decide how, at that level, how much time and effort it takes to get to where you want to be. And then once you decide that, then that's probably the starting point to everything.
Yeah, and I completely agree, because like if you want to be the best, you're gonna have to play the best. You're gonna have to put the time in and the effort. So, all right.
So I thought that was excellent. She came up with the majority of her own questions for you, Dee Dee, and I thought that they were questions I might not have thought to ask if I was the one interviewing. So, Michelle, we got to really watch ourselves. We might have our job might be taken away from us.
Put them out of the job, Halle.
No. You can't be better at me at the boards and on the microphone. It's not going to work. But I thought it was an excellent interview. I got to learn so much about you that I didn't already know. And I guess before we close out, the one thing I did want to ask is there anything interesting that we haven't learned already in here about you, or a fun fact about you that the audience might be surprised to learn?
Not that I can come.
Oh,
Yeah. My wife reminds me, I've had 2 new grandbabies in the last 6 or 7 months, both of them girls. And we had 4 boys before this and 1 girl, or 3 boys and 1 girl. So now we're 3 and 3. The girls is starting to take over, just like y'all try to do all the time.
we do.
And I would safely say that girls can win any of the dads and grandpas' hearts more than the boys, probably.
Yeah, I would venture to agree. I can work all day serving food, driving them to practices, and all their dad, and I get no love. And then their dad just walks in the door and they light up. So I 100% understand what you're saying, because I have only 3 girls myself. So I think it's so awesome. We love watching you. You are an absolute legend in the sport. And I mean, I just hope we keep getting to see you. Don't go anywhere on us. Like, don't retire, because you're a lot of fun to watch.
I appreciate that. And I appreciate Halle taking the time out and giving me the interview. And what y'all doing for these kids is wonderful. You're trying to promote them, and it's just wonderful what y'all are doing with these kids. It's an inspiration. Thank y'all very much.
We appreciate it so much. And thank you. Cheers to you, Halle, because you just knocked it out of the park. And this shows that not only kids can throw to, kids can interview to. And that's what this show is all about. It's going to be a show for kids and adults, but it's made by kids mainly. So Michelle and I get to take a little break and
Say
just
hi
watch.
to my wife.
Yay. Hi. We would have wanted to talk to you more. What's it like? Can we ask you real quick? What is it like being the wife of somebody who's, so good at this sport and so well known?
It was great being the wife of Daymon Dennis before he ever picked up a cornhole bag.
Oh my gosh, couple
better
goals right there. I love it. I love it so much. All right, well, we appreciate you guys taking the time to do this on all fronts. And stay tuned for more Kids Throw 2 interviews with people like Halle or Maddie McBride or Riley, or some of the other ones out there. And we'll be featuring both ACL pros, but also kid players as guests. So stay tuned.
Good luck, everyone. See you
All right.
later.
Thank you, guys.